For whatever it's worth, this feels like the morning after, because yesterday was when the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) announced that the incumbent governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has won the election of 16th November 2024. At the point, it felt like 16th November won't come, but here we are. It's already 2 days past that date, and as they say, the rest is history. Today, it happens that the incumbent governor doubles as the incoming governor, of course, on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, the ruling party, both in Ondo and at the federal level. Some persons have said that Mr. Aiyedatiwa won on the platform of being popular and then, of course, liked and loved by his people. Others say, well, it was the power of incumbency and a bit of federal might that did work for him. But whatever that may be, the concern right now is what will happen going forward, especially regarding the expectations of the good people of Ondo States. In addition to that, concerns around our electoral process, what opposition party members have been saying, what observers, independent election observers have said about this process are all also pivotal going forward, because this will rub off one way or another on subsequent elections. I'm joined by a chief team of the All Progressives Congress, a staunch supporter of President Bola Tinubu, and whatever it is that the renewed hope agenda of the president means. Is also someone who is interested in APC capturing or recapturing power from states where you have other parties holding sway right now. Chief Chibuna Ubawike is joining us to help us just find sense in this conversation this morning. Chief, first of all, it's a pleasure to have you on the program. I hope you had a great weekend.
Thank you. Yes, I had. And serving the victory of our party
from Ondo State.
From Ondo State, yes.
Some people say you have even barely recovered from the victory in Edo State, and now you're celebrating that.
And it will be victory upon victory. Subsequent elections will go in, will cause home to victory.
Your national chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, has already said that next port of call will be Osho, and then followed by Oyo. But before we get to all of that, let's talk about the one right in front of us now, which is Ondo State.
Yeah.
We saw the drama that played out before this time, even within your party. A few other gentlemen were interested in becoming governor of these states in the People's Democratic, the All Progressives Congress, including Senator Jimo Ibrahim, for example. And we saw how that also raised concerns within the fold of your party, because some persons felt, those who probably felt disgruntled on account of not getting the ticket of the APC would likely move to other parties, or will do what they call anti-party and all of that. That has not been the case, I suppose. So today, Mr. Aiyedatiwa has won the election. What does this mean for the APC, basically?
It means we are a very cohesive party, and we work together to achieve a common goal. And that common goal is victory. Elections are like football competition. There must be a winner, and that winner must be one person. A team must win, but in this case, one person must win. From the primaries, yes, all the aspirants that aspire to be the governor of Ondo State on the platform of our party were well qualified. They were eminently qualified, but one person must have the ticket, and that person is the incumbent. He got the ticket, and there must be dissenting voices. It must happen. But the ability of the party to resolve the differences, forge ahead, as a common front to prosecute the election is what we saw played out on Saturday.
Interesting. As is always the case, you talk about dissenting voices, not just in your party, but even beyond the frame of your party. Opposition parties, particularly the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, and its candidate, Mr. Agbola Ajayi, and I'm saying that this election was fraught with malpractices and all sort of irregularities. As a matter of fact, Ajayi is now calling for the resignation of the chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, saying that if he cannot conduct credible elections, the honorable thing to do is to step up. We have seen your party do that too in states where you lost election. Isn't that the right call to make under this circumstance?
My party has never called for the resignation of the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu. And we always have the mindset of sportsmanship when we go into election. That is what makes us different from other political parties. A loser, especially in this kind of contest, will always cry foul. If we had won the election, would he have called for the resignation of INEC chairman? He wouldn't. So we see this mentality, this loser mentality of our politicians and political leaders. When you lose an election, you call for the head of the head of INEC that he should resign. The INEC commissioner should resign. You just paint the election black and blue because you lost. But if you had won, the reverse would be the case. Their reasons and whatever they are saying is neither here nor there. They cannot substantiate all what they are alleging. The election was, at least we had the election observers in Ondo. The election was very free, it was very fair, there was no record of violence, if there should, there was quite infinitesimal, in a minute, area and things like that. The election went freely, everybody was able to exercise his franchise, and the results came out. We won because we prepared better.
Let's talk about the call now. Olive branch is the term always used for it, being extended by your now victorious governor in waiting, who is also the incumbent governor, Aiyedatiwa, to political parties who are in the opposition to say, look, we may have fought, politically speaking, but now a winner has emerged. I would like you to join me, work together, and move the state forward. When politicians make such call, because we've seen that since 1999, for example, is this just tongue-in-cheek, or they're saying from a place of sincerity?
Well, it depends on the individual. Generally speaking, we say it is from the point of sincerity. He wants to work together with everybody. He wants to carry everybody along, because after the election comes governance. It is governance that is the issue now, and the betterment of the people of Ondo State and their welfare is what is paramount now. So every Ondo person should join hands with the governor to dispense good governance to the people of Ondo State, so that there will be development, there will be progress, there will be peace in Ondo.
A couple of reports have indicted your party and other parties, particularly the big ones. Of course, in this case, it will include the PDP, the APC, and who knows, maybe the Labour. But basically, the culprits here, or the suspects in the manner of speaking, are always the APC and the PDP, because these are the big dogs in the fight, so to speak. So, vote buying was said to have been perpetrated both by the APC and PDP. Even Yaga Africa did a report on that, even organized a press briefing to that effect. These are independent observers of elections across this country and beyond. This is not to put your party in the spotlight, for example, but it's to say that how is it that we have an election where a party like yours is accused of paying between 10 and 25,000 to each voter, even weeks prior to election day, and then we still say that process was free? These are just mere allegations. They have not been proven beyond reasonable doubt. They have not been substantiated. It's a blanket allegation. Our party will have no reason to buy votes because we are popular and we have dispensed good governance. In this case, in Ondo State, we have dispensed good governance in Ondo State, so we will not have any reason to buy votes. The people of Ondo supported our party massively. Mind you, our party is the ruling party in Ondo State. So if they have not done well, it will show. During the campaigns, you saw how the campaigns went by. It was a massive turnout of people and support, sincere support, not rented crowd. So we will not have any reason to buy votes. Those reports or whatever are mere allegations that are not substantiated. Has not been proven beyond reasonable doubt. We know in elections and in politics, propaganda is the greatest weapon. Anybody can say anything, anybody can manufacture anything to paint another party, black and blue. But call for it, substantiate your allegation, prove it, bring proof, concrete proof. They will not provide proof. So until it is proven beyond reasonable doubt, that is why we will say, okay, they are saying the truth. But for now, it is in the realm of allegation that is unsubstantiated. Chief, let's drill down properly into your party right now. We've seen your party's national chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, say that, look, we are going to capture those states, and of course, APC won those states. The same thing was said of Ondo. Ondo is in the bag already, and then he has also projected for states like Osun and, of course, Oyo. Before that, we have heard things about your party, for example, being accused, even, of course, again, that's in the realm of, if you like, just allegation. But we have seen allegation again and again. We've seen rhetorics in that direction about how that Your party is also complicit in the division in the Labour Party and all of that, which again is yet to be proven. However, for those who have analyzed all these developments, including the very recent political developments in this country, Edo and Ondo in particular, say that the APC's ultimate objective is to make Nigeria a one-party system. Would you like to speak to that?
It is an allegation. When PDP was in power, people said PDP wants to make Nigeria a one-party state. It has become the norm to accuse the ruling party of trying to make first a one-party state.
Was it your party that accused the PDP?
I am calling. It was not my party. It was not my party. My party wasn't the only opposition. Remember, my party came into the fore towards the end of 2013 to prosecute the 2014 and this election. That gave the birth to the 2015 handover of power to our party. There have been pockets of opposition parties that were existing. We had many of them.
Democracy.
AD, we had the
CPC.
The CPC just came. There was ANPP and other ABGA and others. They were existing, and they, PDP side by side with PDP. So it was not my party per se that was, accusing the PDP. No, it has become the norm in our political turf to accuse the ruling party of trying to foist a one-party state on the nation, especially when the opposition, is very weak. Like the opposition we have now is very weak. Our party is doing massively well. We are mobilizing well, and the results are showing. So it is not out of place for them to accuse us of trying to foist a one-party state. How will you accuse our party of creating problem in Labour Party? It sounds insane. Labour Party are having their own problems. It is their problem. Every party has their internal squabbles. Their ability to manage their squabbles, to resolve it and come out stronger makes them, better and fit to, fight for political power. Our party have their own internal, issues, and we are able to resolve it and fight ahead as a one, strong entity. That is what I expect the opposition to do, instead of accusing our party of things that are unsubstantiated.
You just made allusion to the fact that the opposition, who knows, perhaps you are referring to the PDP in particular in this case, or maybe the entirety of all the opposition parties. But what are the hallmarks of a weak opposition party or system in a political arrangement like ours?
You see, their internal squabbles is usually protracted. They can't come together. They can't resolve issues, and they are not articulate in bringing out issues, providing credible, alternatives. If you are in opposition, when APC was in the opposition, they were articulate in the issues they raised, policies and programs they were raising to tackle what the PDP were doing then. In this case now, what alternatives have they provided? Nothing. They only come to Raboraos on television and newspapers, and that is it. Go to social media, Raboraos, throw big bars at APC, and that is it. That is not opposition. If you are an opposition that is effective, you must provide a credible alternative to any policy or government you feel is not the right one to implement for the betterment of Nigerians. But we are not seeing it happen. Instead, you see a personal attack on individuals and insults and abuses. That is what we see. That is not opposition.
Is there any validity in the, if you like, the hypothesis that a man like Nyesom Wike, the Minister of FCT, was appointed deliberately and strategically by the President and the leader of your party, by the way, to further weaken the opposition, particularly from the PDP end? Is there any truth, any fact?
There is no truth in it. When President Obasanjo was in power, he appointed a colleague of lesser memory, a minister, for Minister of Power to Attorney General. He was from AD, from opposition. He appointed another, I've forgotten his name, the AD chairman is from the North. He appointed him one of his advisors too, special advisors. And pockets of people from the opposition, he appointed them. That's what we call government of inclusion, inclusive governance. When governments of national unity, inclusive governance, you appoint people from the opposition so that they contribute their own quota to the development of Nigeria. Because after election, it is governance. It is Nigeria and Nigerians that is now the issue. So every Nigerian that should contribute positively to the development and progress of Nigeria, and you wish you can use the services of that person, you bring the person on board. That is what Mr. President Bola Tinubu have done now. He was not the first person to do it.
We're taking a quick break now, everyone. It's becoming a bit more interesting. But when we return from this break, we will expand this conversation beyond Ondo and the opposition to look at what is in the offing in the next 2 to 3 years, particularly in light of the 2027 general election and what all of these political developments imply for that general election cycle. We're back shortly. You stay with us. We are seeing a good number of people leave your party. I mean, these are prominent, pivotal members of your party. Some of them founding members, actually. And a lot of persons say, well, this 2027 around the corner, for instance. Everybody's strategizing in that direction. Everybody wants to be sure that they throw their hat in the ring, in a manner of speaking, early enough. Across this country, we've seen that happen. Was some handshake of some kind already been initiated between some leading opposition parties, whether it's the NNPP or the Labour Party and so on and so forth? When your party, I mean, you are a party chieftain within the APC, when your party sits down to deliberate strategically, what are their concerns really in this direction?
We are not perturbed. We have not seen prominent members of our party leave our party. No. But you know that in the partisan politics and in the political environment, politicians will always fraternize, irrespective of their partisan leaning. When you attend social functions, you see all of them together. It is their supporters that will be killing themselves over nothing. At social, like there are some weddings that happened, last week. You saw politicians from different political divides. They come right together. So they must fraternize. It doesn't show they are leaving the party or they are decamping from one party or the other.
It's a ceremony, not a partisan event.
I said they fraternize. They relate. Politicians relate. If there is a division or they are harboring resentment or they will not attend social functions together. I don't know whether you get me. So 2027 is there, yes. As we head towards 2027, I keep saying there is going to be alignment and realignment of forces. Some people might leave. Others will come in. It is how it is in politics. Some people will go, other people will come in. That is it.
There's the insinuation in some quarters too, even amongst politicians like yourself, that what the APC is doing right now going forward is being desperate to win, or as you say in politics, capture states ahead of the 2027. Because again, as we all know, obviously, elections are about numbers. Isn't that what exactly it is? Because the more states you have in the bag, the better your chances of carrying the day, so to speak, in 2027.
Our activities are speaking for us. Some Nigerians will not, subscribe to this. They will not believe it, but we know that we are dispensing good governance to Nigerians, and we have massive support. We are not engaging in, a savage capture of power. No. We allow our work to speak for us. We campaign well. We sell our programs and policies to the electorate, who makes the ultimate decision of who to vote, and they buy into the programs we are selling to them, and they vote for us.
Talking of programs and initiatives of the government, especially under the leadership of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, your own party leader. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo now says that this president, Mr. Bola Tinubu, is creating a system that, he called it state capture. He said that's what the APC is doing under the leadership of this president. And then he goes ahead to talk about how that, a couple of years ago, before the APC came into the limelight, took over power, the country's GDP was in excess of $500 billion. In fact, precisely $510 billion. By today, we're doing less than 200 overall. And nobody, particularly from the APC, has been able to explain that to Nigeria. So the former president raises concern in that direction. And the IMF has also corroborated the position of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. So how does the APC put that on the table and dissect it for Nigerians to understand?
APC is not engaging in state capture as alleged by former President Obasanjo. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not the first president of Nigeria that former President Obasanjo will attack. That has been his idiosyncrasy. And we give it to him. He's another statesman. He's a father. We respect him a lot. And you remember the famous letter writings. I'm surprised he has not written letters now.
Yeah, maybe it's better just communicate.
I'm surprised he has not written the letters. So we give it to him. Whatever he says is his personal opinion, but that is not the reality on the ground. The reality on the ground is totally different from what he is saying. APC, like we keep saying, what we met on the ground, we are trying to correct a lot of anomalies and building a future for Nigeria. Over the years, including former President Obasanjo, they contributed in battering and destroying our Nigeria. So APC is trying to rebuild, especially President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to rebuild Nigeria for the betterment of all, a Nigeria that will guarantee future to all of us. That's why we're experiencing the pain, because to rebuild is painful.
Do we destroy or allow the GDP to plummet all the way from over $500 billion to less than $200 billion to rebuild, for example? I mean, these are specific issues that should be of national concern.
Thank you very much. The economic problem now is a global issue. It's not only peculiar to Nigeria. You take globally what is happening economically. Every part of the world is experiencing one economic issue or the other. From the time of the pandemic, COVID pandemic till now, there has been economic problem all over the world. Many advanced economies are experiencing reduction in their GDPs. It is not peculiar to Nigeria. They say he who fights once will live to fight another day. We are rebuilding. Give us, by next year, let us see what will happen. We are rebuilding. When the results of what the reforms will start trickling in, by next year you will see that a lot of things will happen on the positive side for Nigeria.
Just a few months, some months into his government, President Tinubu had said that Nigeria had seen the worst time, that the light at the end of the tunnel was going to shine so bright. It's been a year and 6 months virtually. It will appear we have not even been able to figure out where the switch is, let alone turn on the lights. Today, time we fell us going to the manifestations of the hardship that Nigerians deal with every other day. Is this how bad it should get, or is it going to get worse, or are we already at the crescendo of that hardship experience?
It is always the case at the break of the dawn. After that, darkness the dawn breaks, and then you see the light. Let us watch and see. We are at the threshold of our, dawn, positive dawn. Let us see.
We look at your party, I mean the APC, for example, and you find people who say that Nigeria needs alternative. We saw a bit of that play out in the build-up to the 2023 general election. As it stands in Nigeria right now, people are hungry. In fact, just by the way, people have even said the reason these issues around vote buying was very prominent and easy to navigate for politicians in Ondo was on account of the fact that people are hungry. So it's easy for you to sway the opinion or the decision of a hungry man, that sort of thing. If we were to do it all over again, what should we be changing about Nigeria? Because there are people who are now saying that President Bola Tinubu is a bit dogmatic about his policies. He's not allowing flexibility. He makes it look like as if it is either this way or it is this way, as if you can't have alternatives. Is this the best we can do as a government and as a people?
In formulating policies to correct, an obvious problem that has been protracted, there are tough decisions one needs to take. And when you take those tough decisions, after seeking professional opinions, and you arrive at something that, if we take this route, it will get us out of this, protracted problem. People that have been benefiting from that problem will always criticize it when you are taking a decision that will alter what you've been used to. That is what we are saying.
Everybody complaining now has been benefiting from this.
No, not everybody. Everybody is complaining. Not everybody is complaining, yes, because we have been sold a poison chalice over the years and we didn't know that things were okay. That is why what we're experiencing now, we have not experienced it before. Because we were told things were okay. Unknown to us that they will have no future, we have squandered the future, we have no future. Then we got into the future, it's empty. We create the future. There must be pains. That is why the pains are here. The pains we are experiencing now are things we were supposed to experience about 50 or 45 years ago. Now we are supposed to be enjoying. But because things were not done right over those years, that is why the decisions have been taken now to correct those protected anomalies. President Tinubu has seasoned advisors, economic advisors, professionals, who he seeks opinion from. Anything that has to do with the economy, they sit down, they table the issue, discuss it, and arrive at something. He's not dogmatic, no. If he's dogmatic, he'll be taking decisions unilaterally, and he doesn't. He makes consultations, seek opinions, and when the inputs are collated, the best out of all will be taken. That the best that suits Nigeria, that will work for the betterment of Nigeria is taken, and the best that will drive Nigeria out of the road is taken. It is painful, and that's why everybody is saying whatever. And the opposition, those that have benefited from the corrupt system over the years are sponsoring those a barrage of criticism, because their sources of livelihood that have been built on corruption is being altered and decimated. They won't be happy. That is what we are experiencing. Yes, it is painful now. But like Mr. President said, there is light at the end of tunnel. I am experiencing the difficulty like every other Nigerian. No, it's not like that things are okay with me.
Are you on band A too?
What?
Are you on band A?
So I'm experiencing the problem like every other Nigerian. But I know that there is light at the end of tunnel. Let's wait and see as 2025 comes in. This year, barely 1 month for the year to end. We have gone a long way. From next year, you see how things will start to move.
All right. Let's begin to wind down now, Chief. You talked about the fact that your party is united. Your party has a way of fixing issues internally. I mean, you have a mechanism up and running all the time. But that doesn't seem to be the case with the proposed bills that focus on tax reforms, all of which are in front of the National Assembly now. All 19 state governors up north, all of them, top to bottom, end to end, are not comfortable with that bill, and they've been very unequivocal about these policy reforms as being proposed by the president. As a matter of fact, the National Economic Council had called for the withdrawal of those bills, but the president says, hey, no, we're not going to do that. Let the bills be there. Anybody who is interested enough to want to contribute to those bills can do so. I mean, there can be public hearing and what have you. I mean, consultations, left, right, and center, and all of that. Incidentally, most of the governors up north are in your party. Now, what are the implications now and going into 2027 general election? Because the president doesn't seem to want to back down anytime soon.
Like I told you, that the raised opposition or issues with some aspects of the tax reforms bill doesn't make it that they are not, my party is having a problem, or they are not in tandem with the policies and programs of Mr. President. No, far from it. The last time I was here, we did talk about this tax reform bill, if you remember. I say that every state in Nigeria is richly endowed, is very rich, but the docility of governors and bad governance of the governor who does not want to create wealth, they want to feast on what has already been created, is what is causing problem. Make your state investment friendly. Investors will come to your state and invest, you reap from the VAT. Where another state has made it so very investment friendly and is reaping from the benefit of the kind of derivation, do you blame? Make your state investment friendly. I don't want to go into specifics. Make your state investment friendly so that investors will come to your state, invest, you live from the VAT. That is what Mr. President is all about, talking about. This, like I did mention something, the feeding bottle syndrome that our governors are used to. Every month they come and collect allocation. He wants to discourage you. Work very hard in your state, develop your state, so that investors will come to your state, invest, you reap from the investment, and the GDP of your state will increase. You create more jobs for your state, the economy of your state will become buoyant. You will not be looking for that. There are some states, as presently, that can comfortably run their states without looking at federal allocation. But because they are collecting that money from the federal government, they are not working. They wait at the end of the month, they could get the allocation. That's all. IGR, zero. Nothing. They just concentrate, but they have, economic deposits in their state that they need to tap in to make their state self-reliant and self-sustaining. But they're not doing it.
If you had your way on the final notes now, I mean, if you had a chance at advising the president about these tax reforms as being proposed, would you say he should soft pedal somewhat or go ahead as already proposed?
I will ask him to go ahead. Because the long and short of the tax reform bill, or before the National Assembly, is let the rich pay more. Pay proportionate to what you earn, and let the poor be left out of the tax net. That is just the thing. That's the simple arithmetic. Let the rich pay more and let the poor be exempted from paying tax. Well, because there are a lot of incentives. They are not talking about the incentives provided in the tax reform bill. They are not talking about it. They are talking about the VAT, because the states have not made their states very investment friendly. They have not attracted investors to their state. They depend on what other states that have provided a favorable investment climate to investors. They suffer. Then you be the one to enjoy it. No, it's not done like that. Work hard in your state, generate in your state, and then everybody will be happy for it. Let the states work hard. I will advise Mr. President, go ahead with the tax reform bill. Let the rich pay more and let the poor be left out of the tax net. That's all.
Incidentally, as it stands right now, we understand those who earn below 800,000 per annum will not be included in this tax system as is being proposed right now. Chief Chibuna Ubawike, thank you.
Thank you so much
to share with us today. We're taking a quick break, everyone. When we return, we'll turn our eye to this particular industry, the broadcast media industry, and issues around regulations. What exactly have they meant for Nigeria the last couple of decades, in particular, whether under military regime or now that Nigeria is practicing democracy? And going forward, what more can the media do to leverage, for example, the Freedom of Information Act, the FOI, which even some practitioners in this space don't seem to be very much aware of? We'll talk about all of those when we return. Please do stay with us.